well, you can see why I'm here. This is why you've been asked to join us. First, let me thank you, Dr. Wilson Good. Whenever I see you, my heart shines, because you are such a leader and a way shower. We're going to be able to hear from you in just a bit. But we want to thank the United Way. We want to thank you all so much for making tonight possible by putting your resources on the table, the financial resources, for us to do what you just heard in that video. You know, what Harry Belafonte said and what I said at the end is we have to get connected. None of us can solve the problems in our community alone. It really takes our knitting ourselves together. It takes the corporate sector. We need those who are foundation people. We need our faith leaders. There is no recovery of our children and community without our beautiful black men. Can all the brothers in the house just stand up? Affiliate relations, and she really works with our leaders all across the country. And we are in 60 cities doing this work. And as Tiffany knows, we didn't begin this work here in Philadelphia and in the surrounding areas just now. I really want to call the name, and I hope she's somewhere in the house. Cheryl Mobley Stinson, is she here? Well, give her a shout out for us, you know, because and she pulled together a group of people, and we got things going, and then things kind of went dormant as people got busy and things went, you know, everybody went their own way. Wow. And then I met Morgan James. Where are you, Morgan? She's on her way, Lord. Her mind is here, Mrs. James. You know, and Morgan will be here, and later on you'll meet her. But I can tell you that it was Morgan who just said, you know, I think I know some people who can make this happen. And people sometimes say to me, Susan, we're going to do this, you know, we know you, we like, don't do this for me. Trust me, I have more than enough. The Holy Spirit has been so good to me. Amen. I can see where I grew up in East Harlem, but for the grace of God and those parents who were in their right minds and not teenagers when they had me, I'm standing here before you. I just am present to what I owe. I know what we have to do, and we don't have to give up anything. We can live as fabulously as we want to, or we might be doing now. We can travel. We can own our businesses. We can be entrepreneurs. We can be sorors and frat brothers and do whatever we want to do, but we just have to tithe a little bit of our time for our community. I just wanted Tiffany to just say a little greeting to you all. I'm going to tell you a story.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. I'm actually a native of southern New Jersey, so right over the bridge, so I'm just glad to be here. Actually, my father grew up in South Philadelphia, so this is also home to me as well. So just so proud of the Southeast Pennsylvania team. I have the privilege and honor of working with all of our affiliates across the nation, supporting them and providing them with the resources and tools in order to do this work. So I have been on all the conference calls with the team, and I certainly have been able to witness their heart and soul and all that they have put into this. So I'm just so honored to be here to see their launch and excited to continue to work with them and just encourage everyone in the building. If you have an organization, a nonprofit organization, youth serving organization, or you're connected with a program that is serving our children in the community, please do reach out to the members of the team that are out here. Share your contact information with them and get connected. And also, if you're interested in becoming a mentor or would like more information, certainly connect with them as well, because we need you, and that's what we're here for. So just welcome to everyone, and I'm just so excited to be here.
Thank you. We are here to serve. And when we started this movement, I would travel around, Jill, and I'd say to people, you know, we're coming into Chicago, we're here in Philadelphia, we're in D.C., we're everywhere our children are struggling is where we need to be. And we're not asking, even I'm going to ask you for some money tonight. We're not asking for money, really. We're TV, and today we did so much media. I always talk about what happened in New Orleans and how, when it was underwater, I said to my colleagues at the Essence Music, at Essence, we can't go back into New Orleans and have a party without a deeper purpose. And so that's where the empowerment seminars began, and I said, we can give Black people an assignment, the hundreds of thousands who gather, go back to their communities and get involved in mentoring. Put your hand on a vulnerable young person and mentor that person to wholeness. Believing naively that just saying it and bringing celebrities before them and saying it for 3 days in the empowerment seminars would make it happen. And then I realized that there was an infrastructure that needed to be created. I think the idea really came in Orlando, Florida. I was in Orlando to speak for a group of Black women who were being honored for their business acumen. And I was picked up from the airport, this is years ago, on a Friday evening. And it was dark when I arrived at the Marriott Hotel that sat at the center of an industrial complex. And I had no idea of what was surrounding me until the next morning when I got up to do my walk. I went out last night after that big dinner at the Burmese restaurant. Lord have mercy, it was phenomenal. But I knew I couldn't go to sleep on that meal, which is another story. But there in Oakland, I got up at about 5:30, 5:45, and I said, let me go out and do my walk. I stepped out into a parking lot that was totally empty, but was the parking lot for all the beautiful buildings surrounding it. And it was probably as large as this square block that this hotel sits on. And I saw a little dark presence of, Black folks. Let me go see what they're doing. So I started walking toward them, but by the time I got there, they had moved on. I crossed just a little street, nothing as wide as Broad Street, just a little side street, and I ended up leaving a very affluent industrial complex and stepping into poverty. I couldn't believe that they could live side by side, so closely. And I saw all the signs of poverty. You know them, broken windows, cardboard in the windows, broken bicycles, bottles everywhere, doll legs, heads, everything that said people were under stress. And I kept walking and walking, and the next block I got to was more of an avenue. It was a larger street. I made a right turn. I looked across the street in front of maybe a 3-story, smallish though still, apartment building. I saw about 7 or 8 young people, primarily males and maybe 2 females, meandering, just kind of like, this is what, 6:05 in the morning. And I just said, morning. And they didn't even look my way. I kept walking, I turned around, came back that way, and I said, these people don't speak to me this morning. Good morning! And I got a little from across the street, like a little what's up, but that was about it. Kept walking, made a left turn a couple of blocks up. The music was blasting. I looked around, and there were about 8 or 9 young men. Now what is it, 6:15, 6:20 on a Saturday morning? Music blasting, I went right up to them, they were stunned. They looked at me, and I said, "My brothers, silence." One of them looked at me with a little glimmer of recognition. And I felt like I could speak to him. And I said, would you mind stepping aside? And he said, okay. So we stepped aside probably as far as you are from me, right? I stepped over there, and it was like a fast game of ping pong. We went back and forth, and I said, my goodness, what are you doing out here? It's 6 late, just coming in from the club. Coming in from the club? At 6:15 in the morning? Yeah, but what are you doing out here now? Getting ready to smoke a blunt before you walked up. Oh my goodness, you're going to smoke in the morning. I said, you know what? You're going to get arrested just coming out of the joint. You're just coming out of jail. Got out on Mother's Day. You're going to get shot, been shot. You're going to get, I've been arrested a bunch of times, but I'm a businessman. You're a businessman? I'm a businessman. I'm a businessman. I have my money in my pocket. My jewelry's up there where I live, and that's my ride. That's my car over there. And I said, what is your name? He said, my name is Damien. And I said, what a beautiful name. And he was a chocolate dream of a brother. I said, what a beautiful name. And this smile just burst out on his face. And I just said, Damien is a leader. I know that if we can tap the leader, we could really help the other 9 who had just lost their way coming out of a club at 6:15 in the morning, getting high. So I said, I had on, a pair of leggings and a little tank top and had my little, you'll still laugh at me, but I had my Walkman around my waist. Of course, this is before iPads. And I said, I have a little business card here. And Damien, I want to be in touch with you. I said, I'm speaking across the street today, and I don't think I invited him yet. I went back to my Well, I couldn't get Damien out of my mind. I couldn't get him out of my heart. And all that morning, while I was signing all of these flyers for Kim, the woman who was producing the luncheon, and who asked me to sign these flyers for a committee, I just said, I have to go back. I want to see Damien. I took one of the flyers and I wrote him a note. And the note said, you have a leadership skill. You have everything we want in our sons and in our men. And if you will allow me, I will help you polish it. I knew that day that we would be meeting with a group just like this. It was probably 5 times this number of people. They were honoring about 15 businesswomen. We had presidents of some of the black schools. We had the head of the Urban League. The United Way was there. We had, NAACP. It was just and I was in the South, so the sisters had on their hats and the suits, and everybody was so tight. They looked good. So I said, if I could just get these people to understand what was going on across the street, maybe we could do something. And so when the brother who picked me up from the airport the night before came to take me to do a television interview, I said, before I go into that luncheon, I've got to go back to the community. He said, you went over there by yourself this morning? I said, look, I grew up in the neighborhood, and I'm not a fool. I can smell danger. I'm not walking into a dark alley by myself, and I'm not afraid of my people. So, what are they going to do to me? I'm in leggings with a little walkway around my waist? Come on. So we did the interview, and he said, okay, I'll take you back. We got into his Cadillac, and now I'm flowing in my little silk dress, and he's all dressed in a suit and tie. We roll into the neighborhood. I want to tell you, it was a completely different environment. Everything, it was all the way live. There were hundreds of people just meandering everywhere. We pull up to where I met Damien, and now there were about 10 young girls, they're teenagers, with baby carriages. So I say, window down, do you know Damien? Do you know? Nobody even answered. Excuse me, do you know Damien? One of them said, well, he hang out around the corner. If you go there and make a left turn, you'll see him with his boys. We did that. Lord have mercy. Now Damien was there with an army. We paused in the car, and his name was Cecil, the brother who was driving. He said, oh no, you can't walk into that by yourself. And I said, well, you're not coming with me, because they're going to think you're a detective. So I'm going by myself. I said, you just chill, I'll be okay. I step out of the car, I start walking toward Damien, and now Damien, he sees me, and he is nervous as could be, like, oh man, you're going to humiliate me. Now you're here, in front of my boys, I don't know. I go up to him and I say, Damien, I wrote you this note. I didn't know that I was going to find you, but here you are. I said, Damien, I'm speaking across the street. Please come. Come just as you are. He had on the uniform. Long white t-shirt all the way down to here, the cut-off pants, big cut-off pants, and sneakers and socks tucked down in the pants. Brothers have always had mad style. I don't get those proportions, but at any rate, I said, come just as you are. You're my guest. He just looked at me and smoked the blunt. I handed him the note. I went back to the luncheon. I walked into the luncheon. It was my turn to speak. I got up and I told the story. As I just told you. Told it to you, and I was speaking about whatever I was talking about that day and weaving the story in, and just saying that we do have to knit ourselves together as a community, and that our children are in trouble, and talking about the folks across the street. And I said, and I invited Damien. Damien, are you in the house? Damien, are you in the house? No, Damien. Went on with my talk, and after, Damien, are you here? So hoping he would be there. No, Damien. Got to the end of the talk, Damien. No, Damien. I took my seat. I was sitting exactly where you were. A woman, now I'm eating my salmon salad. A woman comes up to me and she says, guess what? Damien is here. I'm like, oh my God, you're kidding. Kim was standing where I am now. I got up and I said, Kim, Damien is here. Can I bring him down? She said, sure. I walked into the back, and Damien was sitting at a table. She had, not at a table, but at some chairs that she had wisely put in the back for those maybe who didn't have tables, didn't buy tickets. And I said, Damien, you're so home. He said, I was here the whole time, but you were talking about me. There was no way. I said, Damien, I said, you could come down front. Would you mind? And there was an aisle in the middle. I grabbed his hand, and Damien and I started walking toward the front. He was shaking like a leaf. Damien and the people. It was an amazing moment. I told this story twice before, and I met 5 people who were in the audience that day. And they said it was a day they will never forget. Damien walked to the front. He was shaking like a leaf. The community surrounded him. Essence had just produced a book by black men. They had written their stories from their hearts. And I had to go in the back and sign the books. So the community surrounded Damien. I had his phone number, got in touch with his mother. The mother said, oh, Damien is a drug addict. I don't want him around the kids. And basically, I lost touch with Damien. But Damien stayed in my heart. And that was the moment that I said, if we could have knitted ourselves together in that Orlando ballroom at a Marriott hotel and entered that community across the way, we could have changed the trajectory of those